I think the world of this piece, we're trying to represent this sort of idea of a sort of almost like this is sort of the bank side, and you've got this sort of water and then these lily pads. So it's we are in the sort of countryside, but we're also like the characters are quite sort of like more urban. So the fox is quite urban. The wild boar is a bit more sort of I'd say sort of could live in a town or something. So it's trying to sort of create these two worlds that sort of sit beside each other. So you have like the sort of human world and the sort of animal world together. And I like this idea of the sort of lily pad and this idea of the day fly, because the day fly obviously is sort of born in water. So then I got this idea about these ideas of sort of circles of life and circular things. So then I got the idea of the lily pad. So I sort of created these different sort of playing areas. And so these can represent different sort of ideas. So this sort of represents a sort of school room. This is like a flower down here which represents something else. The balloon which we use later for one of the scenes. And then there's the large one at the back with a staircase which is like a tree but it's also a staircase, and you can use that to go up and down and use it for various scenes during the play. Now we're going to try and use lots of different sort of lighting effects during the play. One idea is to use this sort of ball with like vines and leaves attached to it and have a light inside. So when you light that up, you'll get sort of interesting shadows across the floor. We've also got sort of mirrored pieces on the floor that hopefully when we light those, it will bounce the light around the space. And also we've got this sort of structure at the rear, which is sort of open. So we're going to try and backlight through and also create shadows on the floor in interesting shapes and stuff like that for various scenes. I think the idea with the costumes is to try and make them a bit more contemporary. Like me in turn as the director, we talked about it being a bit more. So you're not sort of got characters with sort of fairy, fluffy tails and ears, and you're trying to make actors become like sort of animals. I think that's really difficult to do on stage. So it's trying to have it a bit more, I suppose, a bit more edgy and a bit more sort of, a bit more sort of street and a bit more things that people, children can relate to. So they do see things people wear on the street. And we are trying to say these are people playing characters. We're not trying to say this is a totally, this person is playing a real fox or a real wild boar. So it's just being playful and theatrical, I think.